General Gordon, briefly, what is the situation now on the Sinai front?
Well, I have a good reason to speak briefly because my knowledge in the language isn't good enough. What was your question, please?
What's the situation on the Sinai front?
Well, we are in a defense. We are in a defensive mission, I would say. We're in a defense position. We were attacked Yom Kippur Saturday, 2:20 about afternoon, with a very massive force, both infantry, tanks, artillery, anti-tank missiles, very modern Russian weapon. And we are now in the stage of Blima.
Blocking.
Of blocking. The blocking stage, I would say, and we're still blocking. I would say successfully. A little bit costly, but successfully. And the next stage will not be defensive.
When will the next stage come?
The very same moment when we decide.
How would you evaluate the fighting of the Egyptian forces up until now? Can you compare it to previous wars, previous battles?
Well, I would say that the quality, the personal quality wasn't changed very much. But the method, the training is changed, the method is changed. They're using now, I would say, Russian or Chinese methods of massive attacks. It is costly, but this sort of method is adopted only by all those nations which manpower means nothing to them. Life means nothing. I mean their own lives means nothing or not too much to them. This method is costly, and they pay the price, and we are trying to do our best that the price will not be low. They may have some success here and there because of the method, and then comes our task to destroy their success, I would say. And we do it every day, every night since it started, Saturday afternoon. Well, this is the situation briefly.
How do you feel about the way the Israeli forces here, from the very beginning, took the situation since the Egyptian attack?
Well, this attack was base. It was a base attack because it was no provocation at all before. We are 6 years after the 6-day wars. No one of us, even at home, even the civilians, believed that the Egyptians will attack. People cried here in Israel for peace, and all of a sudden, it was a sudden for us. It wasn't a sudden for them because the attack is very well, long prepared. And we were surprised. It took us an hour or what to get over, to overcome the surprise, and we are building the power. The decisive power in Israel is not based on the compulsory service, it's based on the reserve service, and we are collecting the reserve under fire, under war circumstances. We are stronger from day to day. And the day when we decide, I'm not sure it's very long, we shall launch our attack. And then we shall change the stage from defense to attack. Anyhow, trusting them, I don't think is on anymore. Is it a what?
So was it a very bitter battle, Anton? How did the Israeli soldiers defend themselves?
It is the hardest battle, in my opinion, that Israel fought in this generation. Since the new temple, it is the hardest battle, in my opinion. I fought all of them. The soldiers, both the boys and the more grown-up people from the reserves, are doing things which I didn't believe that it is possible. Not that I didn't believe that they can do it, I didn't believe it's possible. I'm always surprised from battle to battle, from fight to fight, to see things that is undescribable, really. Being alone, or in a pair, two men in a in a surrounded position, and being days, nights, always surrounded by Egyptians, fighting all the day and night long, and staying. Well, fighting tanks 1 against 10, 20, some numbers like that, in bad situations, in not comfortable position, in a war which we are not used to fight. We are used to use our mobility as a weapon. In the defense role, the mobility doesn't go to the depth. It goes from side to side. This isn't really a decisive weapon. So we have to use being more skillful, more dedicated, more, I don't know, better, just better. And this is harder, of course, than using the sort of battle we are used to fight, the mobile battle. This isn't it's a mobile defense, but the mobility here isn't used as a weapon anyhow.
Are you confident of victory?
Oh yes, no doubt about that. Why did you ask?
Are you thinking of crossing the canal?
Thinking. I hope it shall be allowed to cross the canal.
Thank you very much, General Gונן.
איך אומרים להסתגל?
To get used.
No, we'll manage.
adapt oneself. להסתגל?
להסתגל. כן, we'll adapt
oneself.
Well, this is the role of the Jew, I would say. If he wants to remain alive, he has to do two things. Always fight for his life. Always have to prove that it has the right to live. And here, in this generation, we do it by fighting for ourselves. One of these factors is to adapt themselves to the situation. The Jew is known as a creature which adapted themselves, and we are now adapting ourselves to the situation. We did really, we were surprised for an hour or what, and then we conducted the battle as pre-planned. You know, the way of being a Jew.
Do you see peace ever coming then?
I thought of having peace with the Egyptians for a long time ago. I think they need peace, and I know we need peace. After this step, perhaps we shall have peace with the Egyptians. I don't think I'll have ever.
You personally?
They lost my willing of peace completely.
Do you think you can force them to make peace terms this time?
We shall force them not to make peace, but to be silent for a very, very long time.
Thank you very much.